Yo, what's up everybody? Eyecee here and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for December 14th, 7-game slate. It's been a long time since I made my last video, and I apologize to all of you guys that have been messaging me asking where I've been and all that. I got a little sick and then I had a lot of work to catch up on. I just wasn't able to push out videos, so I apologize. With all that behind me now, I hope to push videos again consistently on a regular basis. And this is my free NBA spreadsheet. If you are not aware, I work on this every single slate every day. I update the stats here. I put my notes and my favorite player highlighted. If you guys want access to this, it's free. All I need is an email address that I could share the link with. You can send me a DM on Twitter at Eyecee DFS if you want access to the spreadsheet. I just need an email address, so just send me an email address and I'll send you the link. And you can view it every single day and know exactly what I think about everybody and who I'm gonna play. But with that said, we have a 7-game slate, so let's just get right into it. Again, apologies for all you guys that have been waiting. Hopefully I'm not too rusty, and if you're new here and you like what's going on, please hit that like and subscribe button to help support and keep me going. So first game, Brooklyn versus Toronto. Great game in my opinion. Both of these teams need a win. Both of these teams will come out competing. Starting with the Brooklyn side, we're still missing Kyrie and LeVert. Of course, the Raptors haven't been all that great with Van Vliet out of the picture. So I'm expecting some of these Nets guys to have a little bit of an easier time. Number one guy I'm looking at on the Nets is Joe Harris at 5,100. I mean, Joe Harris is the guy that leads the Nets in minutes right now. He's playing the most minutes consistently, night in and night out, around 30 minutes. It's down slightly from what it was a couple of weeks ago, but it's still up in the high 30s. He's getting a good amount of shot volumes. And, I mean, he is a little shooting dependent, but he still gets a good amount of peripheral. So he could definitely get it done for you at 5,100. He's probably my favorite priced net here. Aside from that, Dinwiddie, of course, is in consideration at 7,700. If Van Vliet is out, I prefer Dinwiddie a little bit more. However, I'm still going to play Dinwiddie regardless. His usage and minutes are fantastic. The usage is just outstanding. The shot volume is fantastic as well. He's getting double-digit shot volumes, and he's just been producing really well. So, no problem playing Dinwiddie, but there are other guys I like at the price point and the position. So limited exposure to Dinwiddie, but he's one of the Nets guys I am playing. Garrett Temple's another guy I'll be looking at, 5K. He's going to be flying under the radar still for a lot of people. He's been playing somewhat consistent. He's not going to kill you with like a 10 or a 12 or something like that. He could get you a 20, but he could also get you a 40. He's been playing consistently well, and the Raptors haven't been all that great defensively. They still play at a decent pace, and Garrett Temple is someone that's going to see a little bit more of the ball in his hands because the Raptors will try to get it out of Dinwiddie's hands. So Joe Harris, Prince, Temple, all these guys will get a little bit more opportunity to score with the Raptors trying to limit Dinwiddie. So Temple and Harris, particularly, are the guys I'm looking at. I love their prices. Dinwiddie a little bit less because of the price, but still in play because his usage is great. Theo Pinson and David Nwaba are two guys I'm on the fence with. I'm not really going to be playing them all that much, but I thought I'd mention them because they're still going to be seeing a good amount of minutes. There's a chance this game could blow out, and at this minimum price, they could exceed value very, very easily if it is a blowout. It's a risky play, but it's a risky low-value GPP play, and I'll have some exposure to these guys. Not a lot, but a little bit here and there. On the Raptors side, I mean, Van Vliet playing is a big deal. If he plays, I don't really like Larry all that much. I like Van Vliet over Larry. However, Larry just hasn't been playing all that well, and 7,800 is a little bit of a steeper price, especially considering he hasn't been playing all that well. But he's still someone that's going to go out there and be very aggressive and take a good amount of shots. And if he's making shots, then he's going to continue to take shots. It's usually when Larry isn't shooting well that he starts to defer and, starts passing the ball more and stops taking shots. But, I mean, if he's going to be making shots, he's going to be aggressive. If Van Vliet's out, I don't see why I don't get to Kyle Lowry at 7,800, especially in this pace-up matchup. Siakam, same reason. If Van Vliet's out, I love Siakam. Even if Van Vliet's in, I still like Siakam, but I like him a little bit more with Van Vliet out. It's just with all those guys there, it's just a little bit tougher. I prefer Siakam playing with Van Vliet. They just have a lot better chemistry. All this, like the last 3 summers, Van Vliet and Siakam worked together all summer long. Same with Norman Powell. All 3 of these guys. Lowry's someone that, I mean, if you think about it, Siakam and Van Vliet have been part of the Raptors bench mob for 3 years now. They just know each other really well, and they just play really well together. With Van Vliet not there, it's kind of affected Siakam somewhat, especially with all the double teams Siakam sees. Other teams don't really respect Lowry and OG's 3-point shooting, so they're doubling Siakam on a regular basis. It has caused Siakam problems, but if Van Vliet's in the mix, then, it's not as easy for them to double Siakam. I kind of like Siakam regardless, but, I mean, now that I think about it, I'd prefer Siakam if Van Vliet plays. But regardless, it's just a really good matchup for Siakam to overlook. He can easily get 50, 60 DraftKings points. It is rare for him to get that, but he's definitely someone that can get it done. So definitely in play. And, of course, Van Vliet, if he plays, I like him. But the Raptor that I really like is Marc Gasol, 5,300. 3 out of 4 good games in a row now. He's been somewhat better the last few games, making his shots. He's still prone to going out there and putting up a dud, but Marc Gasol gets a lot of peripheral stats, which is he's underrated for. He's a good playmaker. He's a good ball handler at times, and sometimes they need that. And the Nets just suck against big men, and Marc Gasol has been in form somewhat, and I don't mind getting to some Marc Gasol here at 5,300. I feel like he should be able to have a really good game and easily exceed value at this price point, so long as he's making his shots. Aside from that, I'm not really interested in much of these other Raptors. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's the one guy I'm going to give an honorable mention to. It is a revenge game, but with Ibaka back, he is slightly seeing less minutes now. His minutes aren't secure, so he's a little bit of a risky play, but he's someone that I definitely admire. I admire his tenacity and his work ethic. He tries really hard when he's on the court. He's very competitive. He does make some stupid mistakes from time to time, but he is a young player at the end of the day, and he's prone to that. He's learning. He's adapting. It is a new team for him, but it's a fantastic price for the upside he carries, and if he's going to see a good amount of minutes, even 20 minutes, I don't mind getting to some Rondae. From the pre-game interview I saw yesterday, the post-workout, it seemed like he was excited to play. He really respects the Nets raising him and, showing him what's up. So now that he's going to be back in his other home, he could be in for a good game. I don't know. I'm on the fence with him. Next game we have is the Clippers and the Bulls. I'm not really excited about much on the Bulls, but Clippers, Lou Williams was held out. It was a back-to-back for them. This is a back-to-back for them. And he was held out of the game yesterday. But now he should be good to go, and Kawhi is the one that's going to be held out for load management. So Lou Williams at 7K is a fantastic price in this matchup against this Bulls team. They do try and slow it down, the pace, and, slow the opposition down like that. But, Lou Williams without Kawhi Leonard should see a good amount of usage, lots of ball in his hands, and the Bulls suck. Up against Zach LaVine, Lou Williams should be able to eat. Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, I like both of them too, but Lou Williams is a guy I'm really, really looking at. Of course, you can consider Mo Harkless with J. Michael Green still out or questionable. But really, Lou Will, Paul George, Harrell, 3 guys I'm looking at. Beverly, we still don't really know if he plays, but even if he does, I'm not all that excited. And Kawhi, again, is not 100% sure, but from the sounds of it, he was going to be resting on that second night of a back-to-back. On the Bulls side, again, I'm not all that interested in any one of these guys, but Zach LaVine against Lou Williams defense is something I could get behind. 7,600 is a decent price. Lauri Markkanen, he has some decent games the past few games, but he is inconsistent at the end of the day. He merits consideration due to his upside and his potential upside. But he hasn't been doing that consistently, so he's risky. Same with Wendell Carter. He's a walking foul trouble. He gets into more foul trouble than Triple J, which is kind of weird, considering he didn't really have that issue going back to last year, at least not from what I remember. But this year he's just been a lot more aggressive, and he's been, getting lots of fouls. So that's really lowered his minutes and really given opportunity to Daniel Gafford. He's someone to keep an eye on. He's another GPP play, but he's someone that could exceed value in limited minutes at this 3,600 price point, but at the same time, his minutes aren't consistent. They're not reliable. Even in this blowout game, I mean, he did foul out, so he's also at risk of fouling, but I mean, he's still a decent GPP play. He's a good point per minute player, and if Wendell Carter is going to be getting fouls like at the rate he is, and you're not playing Wendell Carter tomorrow, then you should consider Daniel Gafford. Aside from that, I'm not really interested in anybody else. Thomas Satoransky's a decent play. Kobe White's very shooting dependent. He could get it done easily as well, but again, the shot has to be falling for him, and it's a very tough matchup for these Bulls, so I'm not all that interested. On this Washington-Memphis game, I mean, Troy Brown, 3K minimum price. I don't know why he's so cheap. That's why I got the wrong price. I was like, what the hell? I mean, why is Troy Brown so cheap? I mean, at this price point, I'm not that interested in. Like, I'm not really interested in Troy Brown at 5K. I thought he was 3K for some reason, and that was really confusing me. But at 5K, I mean, I can't really get behind Troy Brown. He does play a good amount of minutes, and he could exceed value for sure. It's a good matchup. I still like Troy Brown. What am I saying? It's late, guys. I apologize. I like Troy Brown if IT is out. If IT is going to be in, I'm not all that interested in Troy Brown. But with IT out, he's seeing like 10 to 15 extra minutes. At 5K, he can get you 30 DraftKings points easily against the Grizzlies. So I don't mind that. Bradley Beal, Hachimura, Bertans, these guys are going to be seeing a good amount of minutes due to the injuries on the team. All three of these guys are in play. It's a great pace-up matchup. Both of these teams are the fastest-paced teams in the league, top 5. So I don't mind getting to a lot of plays here. Beal, Hachimura, Bertans, all three of them are solid. Troy Brown, 5K if IT's out, is solid. Mahinmi's another guy that's very solid due to just the guys being out. With Wagner out too now, Mahinmi's definitely going to be getting a slightly boost to his minutes. 4,200 price is up a little bit, but he could get you 24 DraftKings points, no problem, get you 6x. You'll be happy, but he could easily get you more as well, especially in this matchup. On the Memphis side, I'm not really all that interested in a lot of guys here. I know a lot of people will be chasing Triple J after his performance last night. This guy was just a walking bucket. Almost beat the Bucks. Almost. Bucks are too good though. But I'm not going to be chasing Jaren Jackson. I'll have limited exposure to him. I mean, he could definitely go out there and smash it again. But I like John Moran. He was held out for rest purposes. And I'm going to be going back to Jonas Valanciunas. I played him a lot last night. It didn't really work out. But bigs do good against Washington. And he's someone that could definitely explode any given night and win you a GPP. So he's mostly a GPP play for me. And he's someone that I don't mind whatsoever. Not super excited. It is J-Val. He could easily go out there and get you 20 DraftKings points, but he could also get you 60. And it is a really good pace-up matchup, so I don't mind him. Some of these other guys, I mean, Brandon Clark might play, might not play. If he plays, he's a reasonable play at 5K, especially if Triple Jackson gets into foul. But Brandon Clark, 5,100, he's still questionable. He's the backup guy, and it all depends on Jaren Jackson getting into foul trouble for him. Of course, with Brandon Clark returning, Solomon Hill would be out of the picture, and with John Morant back, Tyus Jones and Melton aren't really in consideration. Next game we got is Cleveland versus the Bucks, and the Bucks are in a back-to-back hard-fought game against the Memphis Grizzlies, who almost gave it to them. But on the Cavaliers side, I mean, 5,700, Tristan Thompson's interesting. He does have competitive games against the Bucks, so I don't mind Tristan Thompson. He is risky, though, of course. Kevin Love at 7,100. I don't mind Kevin Love, but, you know, Kevin Love could just go out there and play 20 minutes and totally screw your night. So, I mean, I'll have some exposure, but nothing exciting or nothing crazy. Colin Sexton at 5,100. I love the pace Colin Sexton plays at, man. It's just his production is sometimes not, like, ideal, but he's definitely someone that could exceed value at 5K, even in this matchup against the Bucks, who are on a back-to-back. Plus, Bledsoe might not be playing, so he might be up against Dante DiVincenzo, George Hill, and he should really be able to give George Hill a run for his money with his pace. But George Hill is a good defender, so. But still, Sexton at 5,100, I don't mind him. He's way more productive than Garland or Osman. Has a good amount of usage. I think the highest usage on the team. Oh, Jordan Clarkson's very close off the bench. But yeah, Sexton is the highest usage guy on the Cavaliers. 5,100 is a great price. It's a very high pace-up matchup against the Bucks, but it's a very tough defensive situation as well. So limited exposure to a lot of these Cavaliers, but the prices are really good on a lot of these guys, and it is a pace-up spot here in a back-to-back. The Memphis Grizzlies surprised the Bucks. Maybe the Cavaliers do too. Low ownerships all around for these Cavaliers, so I don't mind Sexton. Jordan Clarkson, someone I think is going to be traded soon. He's just too good to be on this crappy team at this prime part of his career. He's 27. He's in his prime, and he's been putting up decent performances. He could score the basketball off the bench. That's not a question. He could definitely help some of these teams trying to push for the playoffs. They're showcasing him, in my opinion, and Jordan Clarkson at 5K is definitely someone that's going to go out there and ball. Tough matchup, but with no Bledsoe there, is a good opportunity for him to get a little bit more than he's used to. And then Kevin Porter, 3,900. People have been chasing him the last few games. He had one really good game, but I'm not super excited. But I mean, 3,900 for someone that's been getting a good amount of minutes, pace up matchup. Forwards tend to do good against the Bucks, and it is a back-to-back. So I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. I'm not excited, but at the same time, I have some Kevin Porter. On the Bucks side, of course, Giannis is always in play. He's MVP of the league, but 11-5, especially considering they could totally wipe the Cavaliers out, and it is a back-to-back. Maybe Giannis gets a little rested, less minutes due to the blowout. I'm not all that excited about Giannis. I'd rather just pay up for Harden with no Westbrook playing. But Giannis is definitely someone that could get you 80 DraftKings points. And the Cavaliers have put up some competitive games, surprisingly. They just had a really competitive game against the Rockets the other day. Kevin Love can get hot and, just keep the game close by himself. So, there's that. So, Giannis could definitely be a smash play. But honestly, the guys I like on the Bucks are Brook Lopez, 4,800. He's somewhat of an underrated guy, and he does have some lower fantasy point games from time to time. But he also has, real 40, 50 DraftKings point upside on any given night. This is the Cavaliers team that is not the greatest. They're pretty crap. And even in limited minutes, Brook Lopez exceeds value sometimes. So I don't mind Brook Lopez here at 4,800. 30 DraftKings points is more than viable for him in this matchup. Dante DiVincenzo should see extended run, as well as George Hill if Eric Bledsoe misses. So those are the two other guys I like. Their prices are really good, under 4K. Dante DiVincenzo and Giannis Antetokounmpo are actually the second best two-man pairing in the NBA per 100 possessions. And for good reason. Dante DiVincenzo is a really good player. He's a little bit shooting dependent and a little streaky based on that, but he's definitely someone that could exceed value if he's given an opportunity in an extended run. With Bledsoe out of the picture, he's definitely going to be seeing a little bit more minutes. And George Hill is the trusted guy on the Bucks. He's definitely going to be seeing a little bit more minutes. He's definitely someone that could get it done too, but the upside with him is usually limited. He's not going to be getting you more than 30, not often. Maybe one out of 50 times he gets you something over 40, but usually 30 is the limit with him, and I'm totally fine with that. He could get you 30 DraftKings points, so no problemo there. And yeah, not really excited about Wesley Matthews or Pat Connaughton or anything like that. Next game, Miami versus Dallas, and Miami's on a back-to-back here. They're going to have their hands full with Luka Doncic, but they're definitely going to try and shut him down. Miami has a lot of pride on this team. They are going to be on the road here, so who knows? They could be a little lethargic, especially after the game against the Lakers. They just got their first home loss. Jimmy Butler had the game almost tied up into overtime, but just a little short, man. It happens. But this is going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup for this Heat team. Dallas does have a lot of size. They're one of the best offensive team, but the Heat are one of the best defensive teams. So it's a good matchup here, interesting one to watch. I do feel like the Heat will significantly limit Doncic, but, I mean, it's Luka, man. He could go out there and just smash. I'm on the fence with Luka, to be quite honest with you. But as it stands on this Miami side, I'm looking at Tyler Hero, 4,300. I'm expecting him to just have a fantastic game at lower ownership. He didn't have the best of games against the Lakers, and expectedly so. But this is a good bounce back spot for him. 4,300 is a great price compared to Kendrick Nunn. They should be seeing similar minutes, especially with Dragic and Winslow both out. So I don't mind Tyler Hero whatsoever. He's my favorite Heat player. Great matchup, great spot for him to just go shot for shot with Doncic. Kelly Olynyk at 3,800. I was really high on him last night. Did really well, and again, I expect him to do really well here. They're going to need his size, his agility, his aggressive tenacity to match up with the Mavericks. Definitely someone that could go out there and get it done at 3,800. And then Bam, Nunn, Butler, slight consideration. They are kind of overpriced. Bam is still not overpriced. Bam is reasonably priced. So, I mean, I'm going to consider Bam to at 8,100. He could definitely go out there and get 50 DraftKings points. He just got 66 DraftKings points the other night. It was overtime, but, I mean, he almost got like, he was close to 60 anyways before the overtime. So, it's not like it was something out of the ordinary. Derek Jones Jr. is another guy that you should be looking at, 3,800. He's playing more minutes now. He's kind of taking the minutes from Duncan Robinson and Myers Leonard and all that. So he's definitely someone to look at, 3,800. He could go out there and have a great game. He was supposed to be part of their rotation before he got injured. So now that he's back, they've been integrating him slowly, but he's been getting more and more minutes as the days go by. So someone to look at for sure. As I said, Luka Doncic, I'm on the fence with. I expect the Heat to really, really try their best to limit this guy. Unless they really get into foul trouble here, I don't mind. Like, it's hard for me to play Doncic. Of course, he could get like Nunn into foul trouble right off the bat, so that would take care of that. And then Butler would really have to focus on him, and he could get Butler into foul trouble, and then he'd just be free. But 12K, I'd rather just play for James Harden in a better matchup, in my opinion, than like try and go for Doncic. Of course, we just saw Doncic drop a gigantic game against this Detroit Pistons team, which is why I kind of like the Houston Rockets or Harden's chances against the Pistons. But I mean, Doncic has just been on a tear. He did have a stretch where he was getting like 30, 40 DraftKings points game, but just the last game he got that 70, 80 DraftKings point game that we were all accustomed to. And I mean, he could definitely go out there and have a game like that, but Miami is a tough opponent. So I'm not all that excited about Doncic. I'll have some limited exposure, but I will of course have some, but just not as much as the field for sure. Kristaps Porzingis 6,600. I'm not excited about it, but I mean, if someone's gonna have to get it done, and KP's gonna be the main guy if they're gonna be getting the ball out of Doncic and double and triple teaming him. So KP's gonna have to get it done. Miami doesn't really have anybody to match up with KP's size. The best they got is Myers Leonard, who's pretty prone to foul trouble and not the greatest defender. Dwight Powell, 4,200. I could see this being a good game for Dwight Powell, so slight consideration there. And DeLon Wright's still questionable. If he's out, then I mean Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway should see a little bit slightly secured minutes. Seth Curry is going to be getting chased because he got that 50-point game the other day. He's still capable of getting a decent game, but 4,500 is a little steep, especially since his minutes aren't secured. If he ends up starting, then I don't mind Seth Curry at 4,500 if he's starting, but coming off the bench, minutes not secured, I'm not all that excited, but I mean, he could be a solid play still. We just saw that the other day. Next game, Detroit versus Houston, a huge pace-up spot for these Pistons here. Drummond, of course, is always in consideration. Mr. Double-Double with the rebounds. But Capella on the other side, no Westbrook. Fast center. Could cause Drummond some problems. But Drummond's been playing really well. Good defense, too. I don't mind Drummond, but Luke Kennard at 5K is the guy I'm really looking at. Good shot volume for Luke Kennard, still in the starting lineup. And going with Houston, they're really going to have to rely on Luke Kennard's three-point shooting. As it stands, the Pistons are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. Luke Kennard is one of their best, if not their best. And at 5K, shot volume, definitely can get it done here. I don't mind Luke Kennard whatsoever. Great pace-up matchup against the Houston. They don't play any defense. Blake Griffin at 6,400. I'm a little iffy playing Blake Griffin on any night. He's just someone that's just, I don't know if he still has a spark for the game or not. He sounds like he does, but he doesn't show it. The other night was prime example of that. He basically did nothing the whole second half until like the last 2 minutes of the game. He was just out of the game, So it's risky, but at 6,400, he's more than capable of smashing his price or value at this price. especially in this pace-up matchup with no defense. This is like a prime game for Blake Griffin to explode. So I will have a lot of Blake Griffin exposure. Definitely expect him to get 40-45 points, no problem. So Blake Griffin's the guy I'm looking at. But that's pretty much where it stops on this Pistons team. Derrick Rose could get it done, but 56 is a little steep. I'd rather just pay a little bit more and get Blake with more upside. So it is what it is. Oh, also, I'm going to be putting in like full notes throughout the days tomorrow, so keep an eye on for that. I just didn't have a chance to do it for everybody here. I started, but I was like, yo, it's going to take me too long right now, and I won't be able to do the video like I want to. So no notes yet, but they will be there, so you guys will have that before lock tomorrow. I'll update on my Twitter when they're up. On the Houston side, I like James Harden with no Westbrook. Almost 13K here, but 80 DraftKings points is very possible. 100 DraftKings points is even possible. The sky is the limit with no Westbrook. This guy is seeing almost 40% usage. I mean, he's almost averaging 40 points on the season. He's one of the most efficient players in the league, even though he takes a ginormous amounts of shots. James Harden is just that dude, man. He's second in the MVP race right now for a reason. He's just performing night in and night out, and definitely someone that could exceed value here. Just like Luka the other day, he's just a Luka on crack, man. I mean, Luka, as good as Luka is, James Harden is just way better offensively, in my opinion. Consistency-wise, Luka, can definitely put up similar numbers, but it's not gonna do it consistently, as you guys saw the last few games. Great player, but just not a James Harden yet. On his way though. James Harden though, 12,900 is someone I don't like. I wouldn't be surprised if he put up 100 DraftKings points tomorrow. More than capable. I expect the Pistons to play hard and keep it close. But James Harden just to keep going out there and putting bucket after bucket. PJ Tucker definitely is gonna be seeing a little bit more shot volume with Westbrook out. Clint Capella as well. Both of these guys I'm looking at. Capella's rebounding should be a little bit more secure with Westbrook out of the picture. Daniel House is a little bit of a sneaky play here. At 4,100, I feel like he's a really viable option. His minutes should be secured. He should see around 30 minutes. And at 4,100, what more do you want? With no Westbrook there, he should be seeing a usage bump as well. So definitely in play. And then between Rivers, Clark, and Ben McLemore, these guys are going to be really filling in for Westbrook. I would say Austin Rivers has the best chance, but Ben McLemore has been the better offensive producer, and you can just see that based on the price. He's been the guy that's been performing really well. He's been one of the better offensive players in the NBA this season, and for good reason. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up turning to Ben McLemore over Austin Rivers and continue to keep Austin off the bench. But Austin could definitely start, and at 4,100, with the usage and minutes bump he'd be seeing, he could exceed value. I wouldn't be surprised. Last game of the night, and this one is going to be a grinding game. This is two defensive, slow-paced teams going at it. Denver's not been having the best of seasons so far, and OKC has been a surprise. A lot of people wrote them off to start the year, but, I mean, after 20-odd games, they've found their groove, and they've been playing well. I expect them to go out there and put up a challenge for this Denver team, but I expect Denver to win, especially Denver being at home. With that said, Gallinari is really the only Thunder guy I'm liking. 6K is a reasonable price for Gallinari. 40 DraftKings points is not outside of the realm of possibility for him. If he gets hot, he could destroy that price in a second. But some of these other guys, I mean, Denver is really good against guards. So Gallinari is really the guy I'm looking at. But Steven Adams could also do well at 6,200. I mean, 40 DraftKings points, not crazy for him. They're definitely going to need him against Jokic, so there's that. But Nerlens Noel is someone I'm on the fence with. He's been putting up good blocks and steals. Decent production from him throughout the season. 4K price point on him. I don't mind him. He's risky, but he's also someone that could exceed value. As you can see, he has some decent games here, 30 to 35. And this is a game where they could need him or use him, so I don't mind some Nerlens Noels. But with Ferguson and Diallo out, I mean, they're going to continue to give some run to Abdul Nader and Baisley. Both of these guys are very risky, low upside guys. Not really that interested, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. They are going to be getting minutes, so minutes equal production, but these guys are just your low point per minute players. So not all that interesting. On the Denver side, I mean, we got Will Barton. Basically, he's been playing really, really well this season since he came back from his injury. He's just been on a tear, and for good reason. He's the guy I'm really looking at here. He just had that monstrous game 2 games ago, 53 DraftKings points. Followed that up with a 39. He does have tendencies to get you these lower 20s games, but for the most part, he's been consistent, averaging 32 DraftKings points on the season. This is not that tough of a matchup, especially against Gallinari, who's not really known for his defense. But the rest of the Thunder they do play slow, so not that much offensive upside. But Will Barton's definitely someone that's been getting a good amount of usage the last few games in particular. And with Jamal Murray not 100% and Millsap particularly questionable, Will Barton should be a solid play in any case, and someone I personally will be going to. I'm not excited about any of these other guys, but 5,900 for Jamal Murray is a little enticing in my opinion. A little too good to overlook if you ask me. This is a great price. Usually he's around 7K, so I'll take the discounted price of Jamal Murray and plug him in there. But Jokic, I'm not all that excited for. He could definitely have a monster game. It's Jokic. We're all been waiting for the monster game. He has been taking a good amount of shot volumes, and he's been more aggressive the past few games, which is a good sign. But he's still very inconsistent, and he's just a large salary for a 40 DraftKings points. I mean, it won't kill you, but at the same time, there's other guys that are safer, better, higher upside plays that I'd rather get to. But of course, there's Nikola Jokic. He was 3rd in the MVP race last year, and he's just been having a bad year so far, but he could turn it around very easily, very quickly. So, I mean, you can't fade him, but not the first guy I'm looking at here. And if I'm not going to be playing Jokic, I'm definitely going to be playing some Mason Plumlee. Lots of things could happen here. Jokic could get into foul trouble. This game could blow out. Mason Plumlee could just come in and get hot. So Plumlee is someone I'm considering at 3,700 mainly. And that's pretty much it from this Denver side. Again, I will have full notes for every single play here, every player, majority, even the ones I don't like. Lots of detailed intake, so keep an eye on for that. Again, this is my early take, guys. What the fuck? Sorry about that. This is my early take. It's it's almost 1:30 a.m. So there's still a lot of news to come in for tomorrow's slate. Starts at 7:30. Keep an eye on my Twitter. I will hopefully be updating you guys on any news, any play updates, and keep an eye on the spreadsheet because I will be updating it throughout the day. I will be updating my new notes in the second column here. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm glad I'm back. Sorry for the no videos the last few days. Hopefully we can get back to regular scheduled programming. Thank you for all the support, guys. I really appreciate you, and best of luck tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.